This is Covering the Spread, part of the FanDuel Podcast Network.
Some big-time matchups on the table in week number 6 in the NFL. Potential contenders getting tested between the Seahawks and Jags, the Niners and the Buccaneers, really fun game, and of course, Chiefs and Lions on Sunday night. We're going to talk to Minty Bets today, get her read on those games, and get to lay out our favorite bets at FanDuel Sportsbook. Welcome on into Covering the Spread, a FanDuel Research podcast. My name is JimSannes. I am a managing editor for FanDuel Research. Joined here, as mentioned, by Minty Bets. Find her on X at Minty Bets, of course, Instagram and TikTok at the same handle as well. You can find her all across the FanDuel social media channels. Minty, we're on to week number 6 already. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I cannot believe we're at week 6 already. It truly just feels like football season just started. So yeah, we're moving.
It definitely feels like it just started. It also feels like it's like the Sundays are so draining because it's the London game until the Sunday night game. And it's like, it's one thing if it's like, you can kind of like half watch the London game, but like we've had some like pretty fun games over there. I know it's not been like the most fun teams, but it's like, okay, locked in for 16 straight hours. I kind of don't hate it, even though it is super draining. It has been kind of fun so far.
Yeah, I don't hate it as well. You're absolutely right. It is draining in every way. You got to get a nap in between. But yeah, the London games have been pretty good. Like they've ended up being pretty good. So yeah. I'm glad the season is playing out how it is. And hopefully we can make some money.
And now last week was even better because I know you're an F1 person. It was straight from the Singapore Grand Prix into the London game, into the 1 p.m. slate, the 4 p.m. slate, into Sunday Night Football. So like selfishly, I kind of wish there were F1 every week during NFL season to give me something to watch while I'm like working on stuff. But the days where we do get it, I cherish it.
Oh, yes, me too. Although I'm not up early enough for the F1 and the London game. So I record it and then, it's an opposite. I'll have like a late night catching up on all of that.
Pacific time would be pretty tough for Singapore. So I totally understand that. Luckily, they're in Austin at Coda in a couple weeks. So that may be more manageable, at least to have a second screen up there for that. That should be a lot of fun. Also, a lot of fun as the games on tap for this week. The Seahawks-Jags game, like, kind of want to know. I'm not fully sold on the Jags, so I want to hear Minty's perspective on that game, but Sam Darnold looked really good. Get the Niners, who seemingly have no players healthy and keep on winning. Buccaneers doing the same thing. Those two teams squaring off this week. Lions and Chiefs, it's going to be a fun week to break down. We're going to dive in to all those games and more with Minty in just 1 second. But first, a reminder to make sure you're subscribed to Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we are there. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you like what you hear, but also the FanDuel Football Betting YouTube page is home to the video version of all of these shows as well, in addition to our NFL DFS show, which is already up for the week 6 NFL DFS main slate. So FanDuel Football Betting YouTube page for all that. Dr. Ed Feng joined me to break down his thoughts on NFL or college football week 7 yesterday. We also got Riley Thomas coming tomorrow to break down his thoughts on the NFL prop markets for week 6. All right here, FanDuel Football Betting YouTube page. Leave us a thumbs up and make sure you turn on notifications for that channel. FanDuel's getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 bonus dollars to use all across the app. You can bet player props, build parlays, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. NFL season is finally here. Only question is, are you ready to play? Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Now, Minty, we're going to talk about all those fun games in just 1 second. But first, I kind of wanted to get a check-in with you about the Baltimore Ravens because it's been a rough year so far, and now Lamar Jackson probably not going to play this week too. they're still plus 115 to win the AFC North. Now, the reason I checked is because I wanted to like buy low on the Ravens. I was like, cool, I'll go there. I had like a note from when the schedule came out. Okay, bet the Ravens before, or, you know, after their bye, whatever like that. And I opened up the app and I was like, oh, I can't. But I wanted to check in with you. Is there any value in the Ravens, or is the market too high on them as things stand?
So I believe a very small percentage of teams that start 1-4 or 1-5 have gone on to win their division. And their schedule for the next 2 weeks won't be terribly easy as they face the Rams. And then I think the Steelers after this. Now, Baltimore's defense is banged up. And on top of that, Lamar Jackson being out at least for this week. But it makes sense that the Ravens are still favored to win the division. We could argue that the AFC North is similar to the NFC South, with it really just being a competition between the top two teams. And in this case, it's the Ravens and Steelers. I think buying low may actually be the move here. Baltimore to win the AFC North at FanDuel preseason was minus 160. And now you're getting plus 115 as they're on a slump. Like, I don't really think that's a bad number. And it's still pretty early in the season. Lamar is going to return at some point. I think the big worry here is if he will re-injure himself again later on. But I don't see how the Ravens don't win this division.
Yeah, it's a tough setup because, as you mentioned, they have the Rams this week, which they are 7.5-point dogs. I think they should be 7.5-point dogs in that game too. Then they have a bye week. They should get Lamar healthy. They should get some of their defensive players back as well. Ronnie Stanley healthy. Zay Flowers a little banged up too. So I kind of feel like they're almost punting on week 6, it feels like, and saying, okay, we'll regroup after the bye and try to win, effectively 11 straight games going in. I think they can do that. Mm-hmm. So I want to circle back again after the bye and see what the numbers look like then, because maybe the Steelers stumble before then. Maybe something occurs that can open things up more for the Ravens. I agree with you that, like, I'm not out on this team yet. I think that there's still a lot of life in them, especially once Lamar is back. And a lot of the defensive injuries are not season enders, at least outside of Nandi Bike. So I do feel like they will perk back up. So we're both on board. Like, we want to bet the Ravens.
Yes.
I think that we have to think long and hard about this, because like, they're still a really good team. Mm-hmm. And yes, we are getting a discount if it doesn't feel like it's a discount.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is like I think the best time to bet on the Ravens if you like them to win the division. So we will see. And then after the bye, if it's too late, it's too late. I'd probably lay off, but I don't know. I don't think the number's going to change that much. I guess we'll see how it plays out after this week.
We'll see how things play out. It could bite me if they pull off the upset on Sunday. They beat the Rams and my buy low window is closed. So it could bite me, and I am fully willing to take on that risk for sure. Okay. Let's shift focus and talk about some of these really fun games taking place across week number 6. Let's start things off with the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook, Jags effectively a pick 'em. They're at minus 112, their money line. The Seahawks are at minus 104. Total in this game is 47.5. The Jags obviously got that big win on Monday night, but now facing a Seattle team that has played really well. So, Minty, I'm going to ask you straight up, who you got here, Seahawks versus Jags?
Man, Jacksonville could be playing with some momentum here after you mentioned they beat the Chiefs on Monday. They're 4-1. Their defense has improved compared to last season, and Seattle has had trouble like closing out games. So the line being this tight does have me a little worried, though. I think you said it's a pick 'em. I think a lot of people may be on the Jags here, and rightfully so, because the Seahawks are a West Coast team traveling east and playing this 1 p.m. Eastern time slot, which can be a bit tricky. And data has backed this up in past years, where West traveling east, they tend to underperform. So that being said, I actually really like the Jags first half. I mean, Seattle could start this one out sluggish, and full game line already tight, like you said, to pick them. So Jacksonville really just needs to lead by halftime for this play to hit. I really like the Jacksonville side here, both first half and full game.
Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook, that first half money line or first half spread for the Jags, they are laying 1.5. That is minus 115. You can also go with them to win that first half outright. They are even money to win it. If you include the tie, if you exclude the tie, they are minus 118. Preference for you? Do you want to lay the 1.5 here and get some plus money, or would you rather go with the first half winner market on them?
Probably just first half winner market because man, Seattle keeps games close.
Yeah, they do.
Sometimes.
That game last week was so fun with them and Baker Mayfield trading haymakers throughout the entire game. So Minty riding with the Jags, -118 at FanDuel Sportsbook. I wanted to ask you about that defense quick because I agree they've shocked me with how well they played so far this year, the Jags defense, because I thought, okay, they take Travis Hunter in the first round during the draft. That does help the defense a bit. But I honestly still thought the talent kind of stunk. So I'm hesitant to buy in, but they keep proving me wrong, and I look really stupid each week because of it. So what do you think has led to like this improvement for the Jags? Because I'm struggling to keep up with them.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, I really didn't expect the Jags to be 4-1 at this point. I thought that this was like the Texans division to win here. And now we see the Colts rising, the Jags like doing really well. I mean, I think offensively, limiting turnovers, defensively, I mean, they look good all around. I mean, I think they're pressuring the quarterback really well. I think there's so many factors, and I mean, they're a sneaky team and could have a lot of value to win this division here and win this game. And I think they should be a much bigger favorite than just a pick 'em in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, so Minty is on the Jags. First half money line first half winner is -118. That is with ties excluded, but also considering the Jags to win it outright, that is -112 at FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's go now to the afternoon slate. I think my favorite game of the week, even if there's no Brock Purdy, this might still be my favorite. That is the 49ers taking on the Buccaneers. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook, Bucks favored by 3. The total in this game is sitting at 47.5. And I mentioned before the injuries for the Niners. I'm expecting there to be no Brock Purdy once again this week. That's a downside, but it seems like the market is baking that in because with Purdy not practicing either Wednesday or Thursday, this number did not move. Bucks also a little banged up. They keep on pulling out close wins. So Minty, what's your read on this one? 49ers at Bucks.
First of all, did you see Mac Jones's attire after that game? It was like the red and black, like the Joker kind of two-faced outfit.
He also had this is maybe I have no fashion sense. I want to say that first. So disclaimer to you, Mac, I have no fashion sense. I hate the look of like the loafers with no socks and like the kind of like cut off like pants. Yeah. Maybe this is just me being like the bro sitting at home in like a pullover with like a hat on. Like maybe this is just me like exposing myself, but like I hate that look so much.
I don't like it. It just like gives off stinky feet vibes, and I just don't like it. I'm with you there. And yeah, whatever. But anyway, the 49ers have found some hope with Mac Jones as their starter for, the foreseeable future until Brock Purdy returns, which is great. But the Bucks are actually pretty good, and we expected them to continue to look good, if not better, after, Baker Mayfield took over a couple seasons ago. Now, Tampa is a physical team, and even without guys like Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, they still did fine offensively. Not only that, but they're stingy against the run. So it'll be interesting to see how Christian McCaffrey does against the Bucks. I'm not going to overthink it. I like Tampa Bay to win and cover here. I know you say that they squeak out close games, but I think this one will not be as close as we think.
I am leaning towards the same direction that you are as the injury report has come out, because I have this number at 3 on the button if I put Mac Jones in there as starter, but I was assuming that we'd get either Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings in there for the Niners, and they have not practiced so far. So if you give me Mac Jones without Ricky Pearsall, without Juwan Jennings, which I know we saw last Thursday and they won, that's still a bad setup. When Kendrick Bourne is your wide receiver 1, DeMarcus Robinson wide receiver 2, that's a really tough spot. And the Buccaneers, I know they've got some guys who are still out, but they keep proving that they can get the job done no matter what. And so if I have it at 3, if I assume that Jennings and Pearsall play, the fact that they're now trending towards being out, laying only -105 and the -3, that's pretty enticing, because the Bucs are just it blows my mind how well they play despite all the injuries they've had, both last year and this year.
Yeah, exactly. Because we see teams like the 49ers, although they did just win last week, I believe. I mean, it seems like they're injured every year. Yeah. And I mean, we blame their record for their injuries, but that doesn't happen with the Bucs. And I want to ask you, Jim, do you think Baker is a top 5 quarterback this season?
So this year he's played like it. I have to give the disclaimer that my wife and I call Baker our son, because he is our collective favorite quarterback. So there is an extreme amount of bias in here. My quarterback model also loved Baker coming out of the draft. So it's I'm going to say Baker's a top 5. Baker and Jared Goff are like my guys. And like, I know they're not top 5 quarterbacks in reality, but like, hey, you take out Joe Burrow, you take out Lamar Jackson, that opens up some equity in the top 5. So you know what? Let's say, why not? I mean, like, again, he does it with the offensive line banged up, with Mike Evans out, with Chris Godwin out at the beginning. Like, when you can do that, overcome injuries, overcome a change in offensive coordinator, that to me says a lot about you, the quarterback, and he keeps on doing it again this year.
Yep, I agree. Baker is definitely top 5, if maybe top 3 even for me.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to see them succeed and flourish under, with Baker Mayfield. And I forgot that you guys do have Baker Mayfield as your adoptive son. So
it is questionable. Questionable at best is what I would say on that one. But we always ride with Baker, and we're riding with Baker again on Sundays. Minty is laying the 3 with the Bucs at -105. Let's talk now about this Sunday night game. It is a really fun one. It is the Detroit Lions going on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. You're talking about the top 5 quarterbacks this year. I think Patrick Mahomes is actually playing like a top 5 quarterback with all the guys he's been missing too, taking on Jared Goff in that discussion as well. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook, Chiefs favored by 2.5, and the total in this game, 52.5. It is not low by any means, but you can understand why. The Lions got some injuries in their secondary. Chiefs, we'll see on Xavier Worthy what his status winds up being here, but can the Chiefs get back to 500 here, Minty, or do the Lions pull off the slight upset?
Man, this one is so tough. Now, this is certainly a game I am not missing. And at first, I really like the Lions. They've not lost since week 1. They're recording over 34 points in all their wins this season. And they're going up against a Chiefs team that looked a little sloppy on Monday night against the Jags. And, I could say this is almost a spot where maybe the Lions are due for a loss, and that they faced some weaker teams as of recent, i.e. the Browns and the Bengals. And honestly, no team is as good or as bad as their last game. So betting against the Chiefs at home, not really something I'd like to do. I would also hate myself if I bet any sort of unders here. As you said, the total is set at 52.5, which I think is the highest total we might have seen this season so far. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot in the 50s this season. So I think the best thing to do, if not to bet a side or total, is to look at player props. And I don't mean the big name guys. But also lately, I've been loving betting on quarterbacks to run it in for a touchdown. I do have to brag a little. Last week, I hit Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown plus 400 against the Jags. Goff hasn't recorded a touchdown yet, but Mahomes has 3 rushing touchdowns this season, and it's only week 6. So don't count out the unexpected scorers for this game other than Mahomes anytime touchdown at plus 260. I kind of like Mahomes to throw an interception here. I think it was -108 last time I checked. This Lions defense has recorded 6 interceptions so far, which is 3rd most. But I do know you asked for a side. And if I had to choose, I'm going to say Lions.
Okay. I agree that the Lions are the slightly better side in this game. And it comes down to the Xavier Worthy question. Now, he practiced in full Wednesday, but then didn't practice on Thursday. He is a massive piece to this offense. And we saw that when he came back, like immediately this offense came back to life. Against the Jags, he played through that ankle injury, but then he was pretty banged up throughout that too. So I'm a bit worried about that because I know that they're able to get by. Like Mahomes can make any receiver combination work, but it is a pretty tough setup if it's Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton against a team as good as Detroit's. It also takes away their ability to exploit Detroit's secondary injuries. So I want to keep close tabs on Xavier Worthy, kind of see what his status is. If Worthy can't go, that Mahomes INT prop, yes, being -108 does become more intriguing too. I agree with you on the Lions as well. My model does make them like slight favorites. I'm not sure if I agree they should be favored, but like they're catching 2.5 at -110. It's a good setup for the Lions, and they just keep on getting the job done. Last year, they had all these injuries on defense, and they still played well until they reached a breaking point. Part of that's because Aaron Glenn, I think, was a good defensive coordinator. Hasn't gone well with the Jets so far, but like a good DC. So maybe losing Glenn means they can't overcome those injuries in the secondary this time around. But like, I just don't know if the Chiefs are really positioned to exploit that weakness specifically until Rashee Rice gets back next week. So I think that I agree with you. The Lions are the proper side here. I think that the Mahomes INT prop is pretty fun too, because he's taking some risks, chucking the ball downfield, and that does set up well for INT props as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think on a neutral field, this could be a pick 'em, if not Lions slightly favored. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like there's just so much good value getting them at plus money or just plus 2.5, hopefully maybe plus 3 later on, but we can only wish.
Yeah, exactly. It was 1.5 earlier, so it has come a bit down. The money line is held firm, so it does seem like the market is stabilized with these two. But hey, if we get a 3, that'd be pretty fun with the Lions. She mentioned the Mahomes touchdown prop plus 260. Just gonna check Jared Goff. I'm not putting this on you, but hey, he's 16-1. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Just putting that out there. He will sneak at times, so don't hate the idea of a Jared Goff touchdown prop as well. Yes. Okay, Minty, I am opening up the board for you right now. Where else is seeing value across week number 6 in the NFL?
Okay, so I think I really like the Jags first half as one of my plays, which I gave out earlier. I'm looking at the Chargers and Dolphins as well. I don't know if you've been keeping up with Darren Waller, but I think he's scored every game since his return, right? So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Darren Waller anytime touchdown plus 280. And in that same game, I also like Justin Herbert over 1.5 passing touchdowns, a little juiced at minus 130. So that's a game that at first didn't really catch my attention, but I think I find quite a bit that I like in that Chargers-Dolphins game. So Darren Waller, anytime touchdown, Herbert over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And for Monday night, I believe we have a doubleheader. This will be the first matchup of that doubleheader. Bills-Falcons. Bills only laying 4.5 points. I think this is a short price for the Bills to bounce back. The Falcons are coming off a bye, but they have been so streaky. Like they've been good and they've been kind of slow at the same time and streaky. So I do like the Falcons. I'm a big Falcons fan this season, but Buffalo is the better team by far. And I have no issue laying 4.5 points with them to cover on Monday night.
Yeah, 4.5 is currently minus 115 at FanDuel Sportsbook. I think that the Bills are just like a really good football team. And yes, the loss of the Patriots was tough, but there were so many weird circumstances in that game. A lot of tough holding calls at inopportune times. Like they seemed legitimate, but like inopportune holding calls. And the just some stuff working against them that I don't think we'll see going forward here. And I'm still skeptical of this Falcons offense personally. I know Penix played pretty well before their bye week, but offensive line is still tough with Caleb McGarry being out for them. So I am skeptical of the Falcons. So I understand why you'd want to buy into the Bills here at minus 4.5. I also want to back you up on that Darren Waller thing. Like I was going through some touchdown props. This is one of the games I went through right before we got on air here. And I was kind of looking, I was like, surprised that his number wasn't shorter than what it was. Mm-hmm. You mentioned a plus 280 for Waller. It's still there right now. I kind of thought that number would be shorter than it is, given the touchdowns he scored, given the fact that his playing time should increase. Chargers defense is okay, but not like a shutdown unit by any means. I don't think you're buying high here necessarily because like the market hasn't changed on him too much. So I actually don't hate the idea of buying into Waller. I don't think like you're getting a bad price at plus 280 by any means.
Yeah, I'm sure his number was much bigger the last 2 games. So I was thinking that this was a little short, but I get the hype around Waller now in Miami. And I believe he's going to score. He's going to make it to the end zone this week.
Alrighty, so Minty is on Darren Waller to score at plus 280. Justin Herbert over 1.5 touchdowns, minus 130, and laying the 1.5 or 4.5 with the Bills on Monday Night Football. That is at minus 115. That is all that we have here for today on covering the spread. Minty, want to give you a big thank you once again for swinging by to join us, breaking down your thoughts on all these games. Good luck to you with Thursday night, if you're betting anything in that. Good luck to you on Sunday as well, on a Monday now. And we'll talk to you once again soon.
Thank you so much. Good luck to everybody, and thank you for listening.
All righty. Find Minty across the board. X, Instagram, TikTok at Minty Bets. I am on X and Blue Sky at JimSannes and on Threads at Jim.Sannes. You can find FanDuel Research on X at FanDuel Research. Big thank you to our YouTube producer, Justin Lane, for his work in the video side of things. Thank you, Justin, as always. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. Good luck to you with your Thursday night bets and across the entirety of Week 6. Back again tomorrow. Talk some player props for Week 6. This has been Covering the Spread, a FanDuel Research podcast.